Good morning. As we are on the brink of the end of Ramadan, this Friday marks Eid al-Fitr. We stand in solidarity today for two reasons. One, we want to celebrate the fact that we have leaders in our legislature, like Senator Joe Panacio and Assemblywoman Angela McKnight, who saw fit to champion a measure to designate January Muslim Heritage Month here in the state of New Jersey. You can applaud for that. Okay. And second, last Sunday, unfortunately, there was a tragedy that struck here at the mosque when the Imam Sayed was stabbed twice. But the heroic deeds of those that were praying at that time, they were able to immediately apprehend the assailant and bring him to justice. And so we will honor them today as well as we prepare for the end of Ramadan. So here on behalf of Omar Mosque is the spokesperson who you've seen an awful lot of lately, and that is Abdul Hamdan Esquire.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to start off by thanking Allah for blessing our Imam with great health. The Imam has been released from the hospital and has been discharged and is recovering slowly, but he's in great spirits. And thanks everyone for their continued support and asking about him. He's getting a lot of phone calls and he wants to address the media at the appropriate time. He's just still in the recovery stage, so hopefully that will happen soon. I also want to thank the City of Paterson, Mayor Andre Sayegh, Passaic County Sheriff's Department for their unwavering support. They've been here every single prayer. They've been in constant contact with myself and other people in the administration of Omar Mosque, lending support and giving us everything we've been asking for in terms of security presence. To the heroes that are here today, and many of them wish to not be identified. Many of them wish to not be identified as heroes, but we do believe that they are. I've received many phone calls in the past week since the video was released, and people just very surprised at what they saw, how people in the mosque, probably more than half of the congregants, went in pursuit of this individual and were able to apprehend him to prevent potentially a greater harm to the community or other mosques in the area. With that, Mayor, again, thank you so much for your partnership and for your leadership. To Assemblywoman McKnight, thank you so much for championing this bill with designating January as Muslim Heritage Month. We really appreciate it. And this all shows that this is one community and we're all, it's a partnership on all levels. So thank you so much.
And Assemblywoman, thank you, Abdul. And Senator and Assemblywoman, we have New Jersey's largest Muslim population right here in the city of Paterson. And we are so proud that you would champion this cause for us and the many residents in Paterson who practice Islam. You heard about a hero. Well, we have one who's going to step forward and he's going to tell us about his heroics and those of the others. And that is Munir Nani Simran. Please, Munir, please.
Thank you, man. Good morning. As we was praying, Fajr praying, and Sunday night, and the first rak'ah, we go down, and this guy, he just came from nowhere, in the middle of people, and stopped to the front, and he stabbed the Imam, as the Mayor said, 2 times. Also, he tried to run away. Nobody knows what's going on, so when we go up, we run after him. He tried to run outside. That time we got him, and we called the police until the police came, and police do the best job. Thank you.
Also, want to let everyone know, as far as the Imam is concerned, we're very thankful that he's still with us and he is recovering. This Friday, to commemorate the close of Ramadan and to celebrate Eid al-Fitr, we're going to have a celebration not too far from here on Michigan Avenue for families who are celebrating the holiday. And so we'll have food trucks, bouncy houses, and close off Michigan from Getty to Maine for those families here in the city of Paterson that are going to celebrate. And speaking of celebrating, we're honored to have with us here in the Silk City two of our legislative leaders that have made it possible to have a month that will celebrate Muslim heritage. And of course, they can only expect another invitation to Paterson in January, when we actually can celebrate Muslim Heritage Month here in the state of New Jersey. So I'm going to proceed in a fashion where we'll have ladies first, right, Senator? I'm sure you'll defer to her. And we want to hear from our friend and fighter who's championed this cause, Assemblywoman Angela McKnight. V.
Thank you so much, Mayor, for the invitation. Thank you so much to the entire Muslim community for having me come here today. We are in this together, and I will continue to fight with you and for you. Muslims continue to do so much in our community, and it's very, very befitting to show our appreciation by appreciating them, not just today, not just January, but every single day. And it's an honor to be able to celebrate you. You have an entire month that you can do so many festivities and continue to show what you do in our state. And I am honored and I congratulate you. And it's very, very befitting again to be able to celebrate you during the month of Ramadan. So thank you again to the mayor. Thank you again to the Paterson residents for allowing me to come here. And again, I will continue to fight with you and for you. Thank you.
There you go, spoken like an honorary Patersonian. What do you think, everybody? You know, I was just doing the calculation, Commissioner Yunus. I was just doing in a few years, Ramadan will be in January. So we'll be celebrating, yes, it's 11 days prior every year in the lunar calendar. So we'll be celebrating both Ramadan and Muslim Heritage Month. So of course, open invitation to every iftar that we have. And I also want to make it abundantly clear, this is not a partisan issue. The Assemblywoman is a Democrat. But on the Senate side, we had a sponsor who's a Republican. And we won't hold that again. No, I'm sorry, Senator, I didn't mean to say that. No, we have Republicans here. So yeah, I was. I should quit while I'm not ahead, right? So at this time, our Senate sponsor and champion, thank you profoundly, Senator Joe Panacio. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everybody. First time I've spoken, I've texted with the mayor before. It's the first time I met him. And as I see him coming up, I said, he's way too happy to be the mayor of any city.
That's true.
I'm often asked, what can you do as a legislator to be a good legislator? What do you owe the people that put you in office? And besides honesty, because if you're not honest, anything that comes out of your mouth is not believable. It's empathy. Empathy means that you take on the joys when people have joy, you take on their sorrows when people have sorrows, and you take on their struggles. Their struggles become your struggles. Also, empathy is you bring your life experiences into what's going on. A lot of people here have funny sounding last names. Some of them are new to this country. Certainly their children, first generation. I come from a family, Panacio, with a funny sounding last name as well. My parents were both new to this country. And they came to this country because they had the opportunity. They weren't guaranteed success, but they were guaranteed that they would have an equal opportunity. And the three children that they did have managed to flourish. So as I round this up, I just want to say how very happy I am that celebrations, a lot of time good news comes in threes. So we have the end of Ramadan coming up, which is one. We have, thank goodness that the Imam is doing well and things were not could have been a lot worse. And of course, thank goodness that we finally got the Muslim Heritage Month.
Yes.
One down and many, many more to go. Thank you very much.
Senator, that's a very astute and interesting observation relative to my comportment coming towards this press conference. I was happy to see you, and I'm happy to see you as well, our welcome guests here in the city of Paterson. I think I could speak on behalf of the Muslim community here in Paterson. We've come a long way in 20 plus years. Think about the level of Islamophobia that ensued immediately after September 11th. All the ignorance, right, Tonic? All the ignorance. And now you have legislators, leaders in our state that recognize that the Muslim community is a part of the fabric of this state, and they're making countless contributions to improving our society here in New Jersey. And so we hail that as a major victory. But we also hail as a major victory the heroics of people like Munir, who are able to apprehend this cowardly assailant who tried to take our Imam from us. But by the grace of God, he's still with us, and he'll have an opportunity to celebrate not only Muslim Heritage Month, but the end of Ramadan and Eid al-Fitr this Friday. Thank you. Anthony Johnson, you look like you're chomping at the bit.
Manny, can we just ask you a question?
Manny,
These are split-second.
Manny's fasting. Be easy on him.
These are split-second decisions. You guys were praying, full down, and position. When did you realize that something was going wrong? Did the Imam scream? Did you hear something? What made you look up and say, "Oh my God"?
Yes, the Imam started screaming. He said, "Somebody killed me." He started screaming in the mosque with the microphone. It was like so loud. So we just went up, everybody up, and the guy, he tried to run outside. And we grabbed him by the door. Basically, he kicked the door. When he kicked the door, he tried to push him. He thought the door is going to open by himself. And his foot broke the glass, and he got stuck with two knives in his hands. So that time we grabbed him and took him to the corner.
So he had the knife still in his hand.
Right.
How long was it?
But when he got stuck, his legs in the door, he lost control and bounced.
And that's how you got him.
That when we got him in the back, pushed him right in the corner. Then we see the Imam is okay, and we called the ambulance, and the guy we hold him until the police came.
You look like a strong guy, so how hard was it? I mean, hey, the truth is the truth.
We
So
tried,
how hard
we
was
tried.
it to like boom?
All the prayer was good security, basically.
Manny,
Yeah.
did he say anything to you? Did he say anything to you, the assailant? Did
He didn't say anything, he just,
Were you
like
saying
looks-
anything to him?
So,
What were you saying to him and the other
why are you
congregants?
doing that? We asked him, who the hell are you? Why are you doing this? And he didn't say anything, We just grabbed him and we tried, he covered his face. We tried to see his face. We grabbed his head and his hood, and then we see his face.
When he was arrested, how would you describe his demeanor? Was he still like silent,
Right.
cold? Like,
Right.
what was he like?
said any word, nothing.
Have you seen him before?
He did, basically. He came and he sat in the corner all the time. Even the Imam see him, but we never asked him. We thought he's like a regular guy. But he's a new in the town, basically. It's like, we never see him like last year. We just see him a couple of weeks ago. And this is what he did last Sunday.
Once he was in custody, I mean, did it, the adrenaline's pumping through you and the other congregants. You take a step back and say, like, what just happened? Like, what were you thinking?
We all was nervous, basically. We all was like, why he did that? And who this guy? Where he come from? Just surprise everybody. And the Imam, he never did anything bad to him. He didn't even know him. And basically we hear this guy, he just came like 6 months ago. He's an immigrant from Turkey.
Can you spell your name for us, sir, from top to bottom, Manny?
M-A-N-N-Y, last name Simran, S-I-M-R-I-N, Munir.
You want to spell it?
M-O-N-E-E-R.
Yeah. Any other questions of Munir, Manny?
Can you just give, first on Munir, just more of an update on how he's doing? And the assailant, if you can just tell us what the status is?
The status of the assailant, the only thing we know is what you guys know from what's released in the news media. But we believe he's still in custody naturally, and I believe he's undergoing some sort of competency review that was required or ordered by the judge. In terms of our Imam, he's in high spirits, and naturally he's recovering. It was a major injury that he sustained, and the recovery is going to be ongoing for some time. Aside from the trauma that comes along with it, the physical injury is still present, and he's slowly recovering. But he's doing well. He's doing well.
Did he say anything about people like Manny and the guys that, or did he realize what they had done after the attack?
He did. He's been in contact with some people. He appreciates everyone's support. He understands that he was apprehended in the mosque, that the suspect was apprehended in the mosque by the congregants, and he appreciates everyone's love and support.
Was he surprised to learn, were you surprised to learn that you described about half the congregants went after this guy?
I think anyone that knows our community is probably not surprised. We're a unified community. We stick together, especially in a place like our mosque. This is one family, one congregation, and everyone's going to support each other. In a time like this, when someone's being attacked with a knife, I wouldn't expect anything different. We stand shoulder to shoulder every day in prayer, and we did so together. At our worst.
Can you talk about the increased patrols since last week? Has it made people feel better? Talk about just the visible police presence you see here and the effect it's had on the congregants.
Yeah, we've seen an increase in our congregation of people observing prayer at the mosque. If that's specifically due to the increased security, we're not sure. But naturally, it gives everyone some comfort knowing that there's police present here at the mosque. There are other security measures in place that we may not discuss publicly, but I think the police presence, thanks to Mayor Sayegh, City of Paterson, and Passaic County Sheriff's Department, has been constant during all 5 prayers.
Could you just spell your name, sir, one more time?
Sure, Abdul, Abdul, Hamdan, Hamdan.
And you're an attorney.
I am.
In your mind, do you think that the federal government should step in? Should there be any movement federal-wise, or do you think that this is more of a local issue? Specific
to this incident, we do believe that it's an isolated incident that has been eradicated because he's in custody. If there is federal intervention and or additional security measures that need to be taken on a long-term basis, I think there should be discussion, but not related to this incident.
Any motive that has emerged that you're aware of?
Not that we're aware of, no. I'm sorry?
So let's keep in mind that during this month, these are the holiest days, and you're going to see an increase in people coming to pray. But the last place you need to be afraid is a house of worship, where you're only coming to pray in peace. And I'm so glad that Munir and others were courageous enough to make sure that that assailant wasn't able to harm anyone else, and that our imam is on the road to recovery. But I also want to put it in perspective that our community here in Paterson, our close-knit Muslim community in Paterson, is appreciative of our legislative leaders for stepping up for us and acknowledging Muslim heritage with a month where we can celebrate, and in a few years, celebrate simultaneously Ramadan and Muslim heritage. Thank you, Senator Joe Panacio. Thank you, Assemblywoman Angela V. McKnight. Thank you.